Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Behind the Reel podcast. I am your host, John, and today we've got something a little bit special for you today. We've got a group full of fellows here that fish the Wilson event, both coming from the Kansas Kayak Anglers and the Heartland Kayak Anglers group. We've got the top finishers from both of the clubs here. We are going to be joined by Tim Parker, Rick Valadez, Cole Spriggs, maybe making a guest appearance, Tim Boyden, Chris Longshore, and Sam Burke. So we've also got James Leggett on here. He is a former guest as well. So he is running the Heartland Kayak Anglers group, I think with some help of Rick possibly. But we are going to go into this event, talk about kind of what the anglers went through with pre-fishing, how the tournament day went for them. A lot of really good fish caught out there. Was looking at some of the standings, and I think big bass was 21.5 inches. Tons of fish over 18 inches were caught. Lots of really good smallmouth. I know a few people caught some PBs out there. So definitely had a good time out at Wilson. A lot of limits as well. A lot of people were catching really good fish all the way down the leaderboard. So if you guys haven't made it out to Wilson Lake, definitely put that on your list. That is a place for not only us fellow Kansans to put on your destination list and cross that one off, but these Nebraska guys are pretty excited to come down and fish it as well. I want to talk about real quick here while people are getting on. We're doing a giveaway. Behind the Reel is doing a giveaway, our 3,000 subscriber giveaway. And one of the prizes is the Legal Dope Super Tiny. I'm giving this thing away. This is a very hard bait to get your hands on. $150 this little guy will cost you. I'm giving it to one of you lucky subscribers. If you purchase some of the Behind the Reel merch like you see me wearing here, this is our new 5-panel hat. We've also got the Tough Bite tee for all the kayak guys out there. And then we've also got our newest design is the Walk the Frog. So we've got some cool options out there if you guys want to support the channel and also have an opportunity at not only winning this bait, but Legal Dope. So this actually came out of my pocket. Legal Dope actually gave us another bait to give away, and it is going to be the winner's choice. So you're going to be able to pick whatever Legal Dope bait that you want. So that's another $150+ value there. We're giving away an Amped Outdoors lithium battery, a 15 amp hour battery and charger. And then also shouting out another sponsor, F5 Rod Company is donating a spinning rod. So something else that they have going on is they're getting ready to launch a new line of rods that has been designed by Bassmaster Elite Series angler Tyler Rivet. So if you guys are interested in getting into a new rod, those are going to actually launch on Friday. So shout out to all those guys, giving away a lot of really cool prizes, and just want to instill a sense of urgency. If you want to get signed up for this giveaway, go over there. I did link our Shopify page in the description of this video. So if you want to go get some merch, you can use that link. Once we hit 3,000 subscribers, we're less than 80, 90 subscribers away. So here in the next week or two, we'll be announcing the winner for that. So I do also see people are kind of filing in here. I want to make sure you guys are able to join the conversation as well. So over in the right hand of the screen, you'll see the live comment feed, and you guys can go ahead and post up your questions, and we will engage with you guys just as much as we can throughout the night. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring the guys on here, and we're going to go ahead and get the show started. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up?
James, you've been here before. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And then next to him, we've got Rick Valadez. Took second place on HKA side, first place on KKA.
Yep.
We got Tim Parker. below me, and he took away first place and then Big Bass
Yeah.
on HKA. Sam Burke took home a check on the KKA side. Was it fourth place?
Fourth place, KKA, and then the team tournament.
In the team, that's right. That's a cool concept too. We'll definitely touch on that. Tim Boyden took home third place with KKA, and a nice little check as well. So, which of you guys were completely new to Wilson as of last week?
I was. I've never been to that lake.
Okay, the guy who won. Tim's been there
fished it
before.
15 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
15 years ago.
Rick, Sam?
Yeah, I fished it last year.
Last year, that's right. Yeah.
Me too.
And how did you guys do last year?
I think I had a good day one for the All-American, and the second day wasn't very good for me.
Yeah.
Finished fourth again last year.
Did you? Okay. And was that the All-American or?
No, just HKA.
That was the HKA event? Okay. Nice. Okay. James?
Yeah, so fished it last year. Got pulled off the water by an angry game warden, I guess. I don't know what his problem was, but
Dang.
he wanted to yell at me for a little while. So lost about 3 hours of tournament time last year, and luckily we had everything good to go this year.
Yeah.
So got to fish a full day, but yeah.
That sounds like fun. Was it like paperwork stuff or something?
Yeah, it was just some miscommunication, and then wanted to give me a lecture on where people were launching from and what fees needed to be paid. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to fish a tournament here, man. let me get back at it.
I had a deal like that at El Dorado where I actually reserved a pavilion, and we were like starting our award ceremony, and this guy starts chewing my ass about how I wasn't supposed to be there and this, that, and the other. And like I pulled it up on my phone. Somebody in the office screwed up and like just did the paperwork wrong because the other people never showed up that he thought was supposed to be there. So they just got their paperwork wrong.
Right.
Like, yeah. And then he felt like a complete asshole after that. So, but anyways, yeah, that's always fun getting to deal with some of those responsibilities. All right. We got Rob Stevens in the comments here. I know he came down from Nebraska. Okay. So what I want to do here is let's talk about what the Heartland Kayak Anglers had going on with the team payout that you guys do. I thought that was kind of a cool concept. You want to jump into that?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that we always try to encourage is people fishing with people that they normally don't fish with, right? Like, how do we match guys up that maybe don't spend a lot of time getting to know each other? How do we match them up in a tournament where they can somewhat work together, right? I mean, still not necessarily communicating on the water, but communicate beforehand and just kind of get to know each other. So we came up with this idea of a team blind draw, and it's just an add-on for our tournaments. It's $20 per person to get in, and then the night before the tournament we just draw names. And unfortunately this year Rick got stuck with me. But Sam had a pretty good drawing, I guess, right, Sam?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, and it's just something fun that we do, and then we pay out whatever team total length, 5 fish from each angler.
Okay.
Whatever team has the longest length, they just get the pot and make it nice and simple. So,
Nice.
gives everyone a chance to win some money.
Cool. Yeah, and then Rick, you and Chris won the team event on the KKA side.
Yeah.
So that's best 3 fish from each angler, so 6 fish total. And you get to pick
We
your.
fish.
Go ahead.
We fish. The Sticks has another club up here in Nebraska, and we always team up on their stuff too. So we're like, no, we'll just double dip and see what happens, and
There you go.
worked out for us this time.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, so if we look over here, Team Buzz Baby oh, it's not gonna give me the actual. But I guess we could figure it up real quick. So you submitted a 19.75, 19 and quarter, and a 19. And then your partner, Chris Longshore, had a 19, 18, and a 17 and a half. So that was a pretty decent sack there. What did you guys think about the health of the fish? If you just kind of want to go around, like the abundance of fish, were you guys catching a lot of fish out there? And then also, like, what do you think? I mean, I'm assuming they were all like post-spawn, but what do you think about the health of the fishery as you guys see it? Tim, you want to start?
Well, that's kind of hard for me because practice sucks for me. I caught 4 fish. So the ones I did catch in practice, the largemouths looked beat the crap, to be honest.
Yeah.
I ended up into practice late. I caught a 17 and a quarter, and it was pretty rough. Then the smallmouth looked pretty good for the most part, but like I said, mostly post-spawn, skinny. Like the day of the tournament, my fish were all healthy. They all looked really good. So minus maybe my smaller, but she was just skinny. But everything else was like real healthy.
Yeah. So you had like we mentioned, you had big fish on the HKA side, which would have won it on the KKA side as well. Were you upset with yourself after you found out you would have taken home double the money?
That was a magical day. I'll be honest with you. I'm just lucky to have what I had. Like, I literally caught 4 fish in 2 days. I felt like I'm the worst fisherman on Wilson in the world. So, I'm just happy with what I got. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I like that attitude.
There's a lot of fish in that lake. I couldn't find them. It took a long time for me to figure it out.
Well, don't feel bad. I struggled on the tournament day here. Here's the big fish that Tim caught, 21 and a half inches. That's a big old long fish there. What did you catch that thing on?
It's just Jerkbait. It was a Behind Delight with it was a Kitech trail on the back of it.
Okay. Were you fishing fairly shallow? What were you doing?
She came out of like inches of water.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I can kind of explain it later when we talk about the tournament more. But my 17-incher, my smallest fish, and that kind of helped me figure out what was going on there.
Okay.
But yeah, they're dirt shallow. I figured some stuff out in practice, even though I wasn't catching fish. That kind of clued me into kind of what they might be doing there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Well, I know there was some people fishing out a little bit deeper too, so it's going to be interesting to hear from all the different anglers about what they were doing. Sam, what about you? What do you think about the health of the fishery and whatnot?
I love Wilson. It's a lot of fun. I don't tend to catch very many smallmouth there. I caught good largemouth 2 years in a row. All the fish I've caught there have been healthy 18s in the tournament. We started trying fishing docks mid-lake. We had a practice there. James did pretty good. I caught a 20 3/4 out there. We went back tournament morning after the rain. Didn't really get a bite. I figured fish moved off. We had talked the night before about changing ramps and going to some offshore areas that I had. And so on the move back to the ramp, I stopped at a jetty right outside the ramp, and in 10 casts, I caught 3 fish that were 18 or above. And then I caught a 16. We loaded up, headed to another ramp. I went to some offshore spots that I fished last year, just fishing history. There was nothing there. The clouds are still out. It was still gloomy. I went and fished some shallow water across the lake. We got a couple little bites, one upgrade out there. And once the sun came out, I went back to those offshore spots and checked them, and bait fish moved in, and I kind of just cycled through them and got on some schools. It was 17 plus fish. I didn't get anything that was much over 18, but I was able to pull together a pretty good limit.
Heck yeah. And one thing that comes up in conversation about Wilson is about the amount of pressure that it receives. what do you feel like? So a lot of these fish are skinny, obviously post spawn. You can tell a lot of them are beat up from the spawn and stuff. But I personally have been pretty impressed with how Wilson just continues to show out week after week after week. I mean, this lake gets pounded. There was 2 tournaments going on, technically 3, the 2 kayak events. You had 20 boat tournament going on for the Bass Federation event. I think the other event that was supposed to be going on actually ended up going down the week prior. But every single weekend, there's probably at least 1 or 2 events going on. What is your take over on that? Like, as long as you've been around this lake?
I'd be thrilled to have that be my home lake. I'd fish there every weekend if I could. I think there's no shortage of big bites in that lake.
Yeah.
9,000 acres is a lot of water, right? So, yeah, I mean, the lake was definitely busy. There were a lot of wreck guys out, a lot of wreck kayakers that seemed to be exactly where I was fishing. But I never found myself on top of another angler or an angler on top of me. There was plenty of water to share. I just think with the size of the lake, it can handle that pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Tim?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong Tim.
Yeah, all my fish were pretty healthy. On Thursday, I arrived and I caught probably 10 to 15, 18-inch largemouth, 16 to 18, in 23 foot of water.
Wow.
Reeling super slow, like a finesse, actually. Finesse.
He's giving away the juice.
Yeah. It was that color. It was that transparent shad color. And the first one I thought was a fluke, but I just kept catching them nonstop off those big rock walls. And
heck yeah.
Yeah, they were all super, super healthy, fought super hard. So, yeah.
You caught quite a few smallmouth, didn't you?
I did. I don't know how many, probably 20 plus. But yeah.
Did you catch a PB or was that somebody else?
I did. Actually, I caught it on the dam.
Nice.
Yeah, there was like 5 kayakers in front of me, and put it over the side, and it was a 19.25. And It looked like a 6-pounder, jumped about 4 feet out of the water. I screamed like a little girl. The guys were staring at me. I'm like, I don't care. This is pretty awesome. So
those
got it in
smallmouth jump.
Oh, yeah. I found later they spit hooks out, too, when they jump. So.
They do. They do that.
Yeah, but yeah, they were all super healthy. Caught a 27-inch striper.
Striper, yeah.
Yep, and
heck yeah,
a 24.5-inch walleye. So
very nice.
Yeah.
Tim, were you fishing with me in the boat slips on Saturday? Did you get a catfish snagged around a cable?
That was me. Yeah.
That was me at the rock pile.
Yeah. Had a fish take it was like a 5-pound channel cat. I thought it was a state record smallie. Drug me around, got me hooked in this big tree, and I just went around for like, I don't know what it felt like 15 minutes, and it finally broke loose, and I got him up, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. Couldn't believe it didn't break me off in there.
What about you, Rick?
I went. I wanted to go after the smallmouth, so
yeah.
So you went
they're mean. They're mean. They're mean there, man. They jump. I got shook off quite a few times. Maybe a couple fish that could have been upgrades. Yeah. But my intentions were to go for the smallmouth, and they were healthy. I think I only caught 2 largemouth out of, I'd say, probably 30 fish.
Nice.
A lot of smallmouth too, but they were pretty healthy, all in top water.
Yeah. And kind of just your evaluation, I guess you've fished there a couple years in a row now. Do you kind of didn't notice any decrease in the
No, I mean the water level was definitely a lot lower this year than it was last year. So where I had fished last year was really shallow. So I decided to try something different. I had no pre-fishing. So nice. I just winged it. And
cool.
Having to work out.
Yeah, good job. James, what do you think? You kind of mentioned something there, but you feel like it can handle it.
Yeah, I mean it's a great lake, right? Like you guys are so lucky to have that. We would love to have that up here in Nebraska. Just water big enough for everyone to share. Omaha, Lincoln. Most of our lakes are under 200 acres. So
Sure.
when we go to a 9,000 acre lake, it's a lot of water for us, right? So very, very, very fortunate. We love that lake. Rick and I talked a little bit. We certainly intend to go back next year. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. But just partnering up with KKA, you guys got some good anglers down there. We all like kind of talking smack with each other. I think it was a good group, and hope we can all get back on the water again next year.
Yeah, I know our guys feel the same way. So yeah, we were happy to team up with you, and I intend to make it to that dinner next year. I didn't quite make it in time, but okay. So here I've got something before we get into some of the more specifics, and we're gonna go kind of in order that we just did that. So we're gonna start with Tim Parker. And we'll go around. I'll do one question at a time. Everybody will go through. This will just kind of give the viewers an idea of like your style of fishing and kind of how you might view things when you're out there on the water. So it's called This or That. Tim, you're up first. Texas rig or a jig? You got to pick one.
We fishing brush or we fishing rocks?
Hey,
I'll pick one. It's probably a jig. It gets big bites.
He's going jig. Now, okay. So I want you to elaborate on that just a little bit. Like, what's the jig? Like the color? Like, what's the juice?
Finesse jig.
Okay.
A green pumpkin color. Okay. Yeah, and a crawl trailer.
There we go. Sam?
Jig. I'm going to go 1/2 ounce.
Okay.
Green pumpkin and blue, kind of like a gill color with a pumpkin trailer.
Okay. And like a full size, like any jig in particular or head design? Or?
No, I'm going to probably throw a football, maybe an Arky style.
Yeah.
And I usually throw my jig trailer's a Bass Pro Swimming Craw.
Okay. Nice. Tim B.
Texas rig. Black and blue accent crawl.
There you go. Okay.
Got
now
thousands of them.
What kind of hook?
EWG, just 4 or 5/0. I use the biggest hook I can. Yeah. I'm used to farm pond stuff.
What's the go-to weight?
Probably 1/4 ounce. Sometimes if there's a lot of grass, 1/8 ounce.
He's finessing it. Okay. All right, Rick.
Texas rig.
He's going Texas rig.
A crawl. Falcon crawl.
Okay. Are you a EWG guy or what?
No. I've been trying a bunch of different stuff. I just kind of really started getting into the Texas rig stuff more towards the end of last year, into this year a little bit, throwing it a lot more. Just trying to. I'm not a big jig person at all. Just don't have the patience. I don't like even throwing the Texas rig because I'm not patient. Just want to go.
Did you say a color?
It's a Falcon crawl.
Okay, that's the color. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. What about you, James?
Well, if I want to take a nap, it's a jig. Otherwise, it's going to be Texas rig 9 times out of 10, man. Probably 3/8 ounce Lake Fork hypertail worm or a bandito bug, just kind of depending on the cover.
Okay. I like it. And since you guys asked me, I'm going jig.
Color?
What are you throwing?
I'll go 3/8 ounces my go-to, and I'm rocking with it's made by True South Lures, but it's an Arky head style is my favorite jig. 3/8 ounce, and then I've kind of been switching it up a little bit. I've been more of a black and blue guy in the past, but I've been incorporating a lot more green pumpkin here lately. Yep. So, Okay, next one. We've got shaky head or drop shot.
Don't do it, man. Don't ask me that question.
Is Nico an option?
No.
Shake head or drop shot? Drop shot. I can't
Do you-
figure out a shaky head to save my life. I've
Do
caught
you
fish
throw
on-
either of them?
I throw them both. Like I have a bunch of them in the terminal box, but they stay there. But it's drop shot. If I had to pick
Okay.
one.
Fair enough. Okay. Sam?
Drop shot's one of those things that I have a dedicated setup. I always have it tied on.
Nice.
It's one of my highest confidence baits. I can fish it in anything at any lake. But this weekend, I bought a dedicated jerkbait rod this year, and I wasn't getting anything on moving baits. So that jerkbait rod, I decided would become a BFS rod, and I started throwing a little bit heavier shaky head on it. And it was money the whole time I was there. I was catching fish nonstop on it. So if I had to choose the two, I would probably just take off my life jacket and dive in and start swimming for fish because I'm throwing a boat.
Okay. All right. Heck yeah. So this weekend made you a believer out of the shaky head, huh?
Yeah, both years, last year and this year, drop shot were my go-to. I mean, they caught all my fish drop shot. This year, I incorporated a shaky head, and it paid off a lot.
What about you, Tim?
Shaky head. I'm not a drop shot guy, but I need to learn. So, yep, shaky head all the way. I threw it this weekend, not a single bite. So, but I still believe in it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely has its place.
Absolutely. Rick?
Drop shot for sure.
Going with the drop shot. Did you catch any on it this weekend?
I didn't throw it.
Okay.
I had it tied on, but I never used it.
Okay.
When I was throwing, I was still getting bites all day long, so I didn't ever switch it up.
No need.
Popper. Rick's only thrown a popper since last championship. That's the only thing he's thrown.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I don't blame him.
James?
Well, I tell you what, I pre-fished Thursday and Friday with Sam, and he took me to a brush pile. He's like, drop shot, throw it in there, man. I think I broke off twice in like 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no. And then I watched Sam kill him on the shaky head all weekend. So I'm going to shaky hand, man. You're my idol, Sam. Show me the ways,
Josh, both.
I think I would go shaky head as well. I haven't thrown the drop shot in a while, and I have a lot of confidence in a shaky head, I feel like. Okay, so the next one is jerkbait or swimbait.
Easy Swimbait.
Swimbait. What are you going with?
Big as possible. I threw around a Chad during practice. I got
Okay.
the one. So yeah, I'm not throwing a dang jerkbait.
Okay, so you're talking big swim baits.
Yeah. That's only one.
Okay, I like it. Heck yeah, I got this one handy here, just sitting here. This is made in Kansas, Golden Belt Custom Lures here.
I saw that giveaway. That's a sweet giveaway. I was thinking about jumping in on that.
Yeah. The legal dope, and then
6 Swimbait.
yeah, and then I've got one that may be more of your style right here, handy. It's a little bit bigger than that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
What about you, Sam? Are you going swimbait or jerkbait?
Jerkbait all day.
Okay.
All season long when it's fitting.
Is it in season right now for you?
It depends. I usually keep it tied on. If I don't get bit pretty quick with it, I'm gonna probably tie up something else or pick up a different rod. But
okay,
I have a jerkbait dedicated rod. So
nice.
Vision 110. I'll throw 6 cents. I picked up a couple new ones like the what's the Hank Cherry one? The
Stunner.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. I'm exploring outside them, but usually I'm going to throw a Vision 110, 110 plus.
Nice. And so you go with some of the deeper diving ones as well?
Yeah, I mean, typically I find the jerkbait a little bit more effective in a little bit deeper water, and obviously you don't want to snag a $25 lure in 6 feet, so I usually pull off a little bit and throw a deeper diving jerkbait.
Yeah. Okay.
That's lesson from experience there.
Tim?
Close one, but a jerkbait. Got probably 60 bass on there this year on a jerkbait. So yeah.
Did you fish it at Wilson at all?
I did not.
No.
The Swimbait was working so well, I couldn't put it down.
There you go.
Yep.
Rick?
Jerkbait. I would probably say.
Jerkbait?
And I don't throw either one of them very often, but
okay.
If I have to, I will, but I choose not to throw either one. But haven't got real big into the Swimbait stuff yet, so.
Don't. It's horrible.
No, stop.
What about you, James?
Jerkbait.
Going with the jerkbait. Is that one you throw often, or
no?
No.
I haven't tied on in the spring, but I don't throw it a lot otherwise. Yeah.
I don't ever throw jerkbait. I've got them, and I keep telling myself I'm going to try to throw them. I don't ever throw them. Yeah, I mean, if I throw a paddle tail Swimbait or something, like I hardly ever throw that. If I'm throwing a Swimbait, I'm kind of going with Tim. I'm going with something big. Okay, so this will kind of help people get an idea a little bit more of your kind of approach or your style. Tim, if you had to pick one, are you going shallow or are you going deep?
Shallow.
Shallow. Sam?
That's tough. This year I've spent a lot of time shallow, but I would prefer to fish deep.
Okay. Tim?
I'm with Sam. I prefer to fish. Well, I fish shallow, but I prefer to fish deep because everybody's on the banks. So
yeah, and that paid off for you this weekend.
It did.
Did you have many people doing what you were doing around you?
I didn't see very many. I mean, out in 20 foot of water, there's not too many people out there. So those bluffs, though, when those big party boats come by, it was about 4 foot waves, and I was like, "Dear Lord, hang on, here it comes." So yeah, I thought I was going under.
Slam into the wall or something. Yeah.
It was pretty bad, but yeah.
What about you, Rick? Shallow or deep?
Shallow. Yeah, shallow.
Okay. That popper doesn't call him up from up deep?
Oh, yeah. Deep? Oh, it will. I was at Truman, 30 foot bluff walls, straight up and down, and calling them up.
Yeah,
during
especially in that.
All-American.
I guess that's probably not clear water. I was going to say in Wilson, they'll probably come up from real deep, in that clear water.
Truman, depending on where you were in Truman, it was super clear.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I had some hits where I think they were chasing it from the bank, but I was sitting in 15, 16 foot of water, and they were hitting it right next to my kayak. So
very cool. James, what's your go-to, shallow or deep?
Shallow.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you there. I'm a flipping kind of guy, so that's kind of my thing. Okay, so this is kind of more of a color. Tim, green pumpkin or watermelon red, it says.
Oh, I don't know the difference. I think green pumpkin.
Yeah, a little darker.
Yeah, green pumpkin works everywhere. I keep it easy.
Sam?
Well, all my fish over the weekend came off watermelon red, but typically I would say green pumpkin. Actually, my fish were pumpkin red, so I'll take both, sir.
There you go. Okay. Tim?
Green pumpkin.
Okay. Rick?
Green pumpkin.
Yeah. James, you gonna?
Watermelon red.
Okay, there he goes. All right. I'm a green pumpkin guy. Okay, so vibrating jig or are we going spinnerbait?
This is tough for me because I'm hardcore chatterbait everywhere. That's all I ever throw. But I have a buddy that kicks a lot of butt and cashed a lot of checks on a spinnerbait last couple of years, and I started fishing it a lot. I actually fished it on the tournament, but confidence would be a chatterbait. But if I can get bites and practice on a spinnerbait, I'm okay with both. So I'll take both. I'll do with Sam.
Okay. Sam, which one are you taking?
I have a couple spinner baits that bounce around in the back of my boat, and I have a dedicated chatterbait rod.
Okay, he's going chatterbait. And are you going jackhammer? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Tim?
Oh.
Spinnerbait. Day long.
Okay.
I've got 20 plus 5-pounders on spinnerbait, so yeah, that's it for me.
Rick?
Chatterbait.
Going
Jackhammer.
chatterbait. Jackhammer. Okay. James?
Spinnerbait. In fact,
Going
last year when Sam and I were fishing together at Wilson, I got tired of breaking off in that same stupid brush pile on my drop shot, so I drug a spinnerbait over the top of it and hooked up. So spinnerbait, I love it, man. It's awesome.
Heck yeah. Yeah, when they hit that spinnerbait, you know it.
That's for sure. Yeah.
They're not messing around when they hit that spinnerbait. Okay, so clear water or dirty water?
Dirty.
Going dirty?
Yeah.
Sam?
Can I get the mix? Can I get like right on the edge of both?
I guess, yeah. You could probably find that.
I think I'll take clear.
Would you rather clear?
Not
Tim?
I don't know. Not really.
Tim?
Clear water.
Clear, okay.
Yep.
And you live in Kansas, so you should move.
Yeah. El Dorado it was bad.
Rick?
Dirty.
He's going dirty.
Dirty.
James?
Dirty. Yeah.
I'm going dirty too. Like clear water intimidates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And it's just probably just a mind thing, at this point. But yeah, El Dorado is my home lake, so that'll tell you something. Chocolate milk. Okay, so this one we got the last one here. Are you going with 1 10-pounder? I already know Tim's answer. Are you going with 1 10-pounder or a 30-pound limit?
Yeah, 1 10-pounder. No
Going
way.
with the one. He's fishing all day for that double digit.
All day.
Sam?
30 pounds. I'm going for I'm trying to win tournaments, not bragging rights.
I mean, that's 5, 6
I don't do
pounders,
either often, so.
That's a hell of a day. 5, 6 pounders. Tim?
10-pounder.
He's going big. Go big
Double
or go
digit.
home.
Yep.
Rick?
10-pounder.
Going with the 10. Let's hear it, James.
I don't know that we have 10-pounders in Nebraska. So
There's probably at least one.
yeah, it's somewhere. I just haven't found them. But
That's why I go to Texas.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll do the 30-pound bag for sure.
Going 30. I'm gonna go with the 1 10-pounder. So that's just kind of a fun little I don't know. I call it an icebreaker. But that'll kind of give the folks at home an idea of your style of fishing, I feel like, a little bit. Let's go ahead and go into like game day. We talked a little bit about, you guys and what you did during practice and kind of what you found. A few of you guys touched on that. What did you guys feel about the game day, having all the boat pressure? We talked about, it being enough area to not really have to fish on top of each other, but how do you feel like that affected your bites? Or did it?
Same order.
Do what?
Same order.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie to you. No one came to my ramp. I had it to myself. So,
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Which one was that?
Don't remember. A lot of people practiced it, but
Really?
yeah, no one came to my ramp. I woke up late as usual, slept in,
Nice.
did the whole mosey down, and but I will tell you throughout the day, it was a hot spot where I was at. I had about 20 boaters or more come in on that spot multiple times. The same boaters came back. They probably were not happy where I was at because I sat there all day. But yeah, I had it to myself in the morning, and then I ventured out, and about that windstorm came through, and I planted there. They just told me where I needed to be at. So
Very cool.
Hey, I have a question real quick for Tim.
Yeah.
Tim Parker. Tim, you had mentioned earlier, and you'd made a post about, your pre-fishing didn't go very well.
no.
Mm-hmm.
And some people kind of talked you off the ledge. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what was it? What flipped that switch for you? I know there's times when we all feel like just cashing it in, packing up, going home.
Mm-hmm.
Sam was there last year. What was said to you that kept you in the game?
All right, so honestly, guys, I went the whole full day of practice on Friday. I didn't catch a fish all day until the last. Actually, I messaged James to figure out when pre-practice was over with because I didn't stay on the water. I was freaking out. I was spun out. I knew everybody was catching 80 pounds or 80 inches. Like it was pretty gnarly. Everybody's having a fun time, and I wasn't on them. I had caught a little 8-incher the day before, and I found Marty, Marty Hughes, everybody knows Marty, and he kind of he looked at me and laughed and said, "You're going to have a crazy day tomorrow, man. You had a bad practice, you're going to kill it." And I thought he was crazy, but I talked to CP, and he had talked to me, and he's like, I knew he was catching them, and he's like, dude, like, it's slow down. That wasn't Edric. Like, just stupid stuff we tell each other. And I found Jennifer on the water, and she was also having a pretty bad day. And I went through the whole process of, like, you're good. Hey, you know what to, and then you know what to do, and then someone else is feeling the same way. And I kind of just told myself, it's going to sound really arrogant, but I said I'm going to catch 100 inches, and they can back that. I probably kind of crazy, but I told myself, you're not going to fail. Like, you got this. Like, you know how to fish, and it'll figure itself out. So I just went out fishing the day of. So
very cool.
Didn't hit the 100, but it was
90, fun. Almost 95, 94 3/4 was it?
Yep, 94 3/4.
Or yeah, is that what it was? Yeah, 94 3/4. Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, appreciate you, James, for that one, because I did want to touch on that, and I totally forgot about it. Sam, what about you? You have a fun story to tell too.
Yeah, mine could be. I'll keep it brief, but it'll be probably the most long-winded one. So, James rode with me. We went out and practiced up on some boat docks. James got on some good fish. I caught a large one, 20.75, but I didn't catch many. Our friend Josh came with us. We had a good day of fishing. I wasn't real confident in catching a good limit over there, but I thought there was a good chance of catching a big fish. So we decided we would go over there, and then if it didn't work out, we would just load up and change ramps. And so we headed out that way, and we fished the areas where we were catching fish, and they didn't really produce anything. There was a couple other guys over there, and I didn't really wait too long before I wanted to go back and fish history. Last year I had the same kind of circumstance Tim had. I had a bad practice.
No, you're good.
And I told everybody I was in a pretty bad mood. It was kind of a game changer in my mental game of fishing last year. I was ready to go home, and had it not been a 4-hour drive, I would have gone home. And I went out the next day and I slugged them. And I was going to fish All-American, and I didn't, and I should have. And I learned a lot from that fishing tournament last year. And so I knew I had a history to fish, which were some offshore spots that not many people knew about or fished, probably because of the location. It was a high traffic area, so a lot of people probably kind of stayed away. So we went out there and we fished. We didn't catch much. I told James I want to relocate, and I kind of got lucky, and I fished a pier by the ramp, and in 10 casts I caught 3 18s, and then in about another 10 casts I caught a 16. So I filled the limit pretty quickly in the morning, and we loaded up and we headed back to the state park ramp and went fishing out there. And I was fishing a spot near the marina gas station, and I'd had a little bit of a run through with the guy that worked there the day before. I guess I said 2 words that hurt his feelings. They weren't mean words. I was just making a light joke. Anyway, I had a kid tell me that I needed to leave the marina area where I was catching some fish from. I told him that it was public water, and I was in fact not going to leave. The guy that worked there had threatened to call the Corps of Engineers, which I asked him to please do. And apparently he called somebody because the park ranger showed up. And in the last hour of fishing, when I was on a good school of fish, I had a park ranger pull up at about 10 after 1 and pull me to the side, as I had a guy from Kansas and Josh Swigert fishing the brush pile with me. And he proceeded to lecture me and tried to make me feel guilty for fishing in that area for about 20 minutes of my last hour. And we kind of slugged him there. I stood my ground. I stood my water and refused to leave. And we continued to fish, and I caught a few upgrades out there and filled my limit. But I fished the same history I fished last year, which were offshore rock and offshore brush and 9 to 22 feet of water. And when that sun came up, bait fish moved out and the bass moved in. And both years in a row, it was a fun time. I finished a little short, but I got no complaints about the day.
Yeah, you had a good day, man. Glad he didn't end up in jail.
Me too.
How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I had an excellent Thursday and Friday. I mean, I caught so many fish on Friday that on the dam that I actually spotted a school of white bass, and I caught probably 30 white bass. I just took like a 2-hour break and just every cast, white bass, white bass. So I was like, I'm in a bass tournament, but I was like, I'm going for white bass. So I fished there, and then I met Marty. We were back in this little cove way off in the distance, and the stripers started running, and they looked like 30-pound stripers pushing all the shad and bait fish back. They looked like dolphins. So I threw a whopper plopper in there, and I had about an 8-pounder hit that whopper plopper, and it was on, and Marty was on one. He caught probably a 29-incher. I caught a 27, and yeah, it was phenomenal. So I was really worried about my Friday or my Saturday because I had 2 really good days, and I went to my spot. No one was there. First cast in, whopper plopper, 17-inch smallie.
Very nice.
Bringing my net up. As I pulled my net up, my Corrado fell into the water.
Oh.
11 feet of water, and I seen it go down, and I was like, oh my God, like $400 combo gone. I was like, well, I'll come back to that. Don't get discouraged. Pulled a buzzbait out I had on, threw it out, got a 17 and I think 17.25 back to back. So I came back to that fish for that Corrado with a crankbait, trying to get it, couldn't get it. And I was like, well, let me go back to that point one more time. I went back there, and about a foot under that water, I seen that whopper plopper sticking up, and I netted it, and I pulled it up, and I started casting with it. So, yeah, I kind of moved out of that little area, went to another area. I broke off 2 18-inch smallmouths right at the kayak. Kind of got a little discouraged. I said, hey, just finish this thing out. Ended up catching another 18, I think, and a half, and another 18, and then about 12:30, I texted my little brother, and I was like, hey man, I did my best. I got four bass in, into the kayak, and he goes, oh, it's not over yet. I was like, yeah, it's pretty much over. Well, then I caught another like 13-inch smallie. I was like, I'm happy. El Dorado, I caught 0. So I said, at least I got a limit. And at 12:40, I think it was, or 12:48, I threw the mag draft out. There was a nice dark ledge, shadow. Threw it along there. 1, 2, 3 on the third spin around, that giant 19.5 hit. Thought it was a drum, so I was just like reeling it in like it was nothing. I'm like, do, come on, drum. And then I seen the bass, and I was like, oh my God, basically panicked. And got the net out, got him in, and I knew that was a serious upgrade from a 12 or 13-inch smallie to a 19.5. I think I was sitting in about 15th place, and I'm screaming, like shaking my hands, and I look over, and there's Clayton Westgate.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I said I didn't mean to scream so loud. He goes, no, it's all good. Because that thing's a big boy. I was like, yeah, it is. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a healthy one.
Yeah, it fought pretty well. So yeah, that mag draft, like I said, that was the first basically cast with it that day. I threw it Thursday and Friday with nothing, and then that sealed the deal right there for me. So.
Very nice. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Rick?
Yeah, so like I said, I had no pre-fishing. Slept at the ramp, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna wing it. There was 5 of us there. In the morning, we kind of said, hey, where's everybody kind of going? And 3 of us were going to go across the lake. So they kind of said they wanted to go in a cove. So I was like, okay, well, you guys can have it, and I'm just going to start at one of the points and go as far down as I can and see what happens. And so that's what I did. And I was at lines in on the top water, on the popper. I had a lot of fish coming and hitting it, just missing it, coming up right behind it. It was a little dark at 5:30, but
yeah.
So I kind of just hung out there on that point thinking there's fish here. Let me just wait. And so I kind of waited it out for another 15, 20 minutes after line's in and kind of messed around and caught my first one right on that point. And then I said, okay, well, smallmouth. So I'm just going to keep working the banks down. And there was, I think, 3 other cuts that kind of went in, and I'd get to them and I'd work back. But all I caught was either smallmouth or white bass, a ton of white bass. So I went all the way to, they call it like the Party Cove area or whatever.
Yeah.
All the boats hang out in that area.
By the marina?
I didn't see another kayaker besides the guys that I launched with, the 2 guys that crossed, until I got to that point, and then a bunch of boats. But no other really boats came in. I mean, I pretty much had it by myself.
Really?
All the way down, long ways. Figured out that all my fish were on the points, so I said, well, I'm going to turn around and head back, just fish the points and slow down a little bit. Throw the Texas rig and stuff, and actually the 19 3/4 I caught, and the 18 1/4 came in the same exact spot on the point. So then there started being, I started seeing a couple more kayak guys heading over, and so I got back to where I started, and 2 guys were still in that cove. So I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'll just press on, and kept pressing on, and I caught that 19 largemouth. That was the only, I mean, I targeted like the little sticks that were in there, shallow.
Yeah.
Everything came pretty shallow for me.
Okay.
On the popper, caught a couple on the buzzbait and the Texas rig, but then the afternoon came and the bait slowed way down, top water, and I tried to go a little bit deeper, and it didn't work out for me, so I continued to fish shallow and had quite a few bites, but a couple smallmouth that could have got me some upgrades, but shook me off. Like I said, they were mean. They would hit that popper and just launch and just keep jumping and jumping and jumping. Just, you got an 18, 19 on, and you're like, oh, no, quick, stay down. And yeah, I had a lot of fun though. It was, said I don't get to chase smallmouth very often, so if I'm going to a place that has smallmouth, I'm going to chase them.
Heck yeah, man. Well, good job. You had a really nice limit there, and definitely had a good day on the water.
Trying to run Tim down. I knew Tim had four good fish up there, and I knew that I needed to get either another 19 or 20 to get rid of that 16. I said, well, he only posted 4 fish. He was sandbagging it a little bit, but I knew better. I was like, he ain't gonna just have 4 really good fish and not have another one. I was like, well, and I tried my hardest, and
in my defense,
I knew when, even when it was the leaderboards went off and all that, I was like, Tim got me unless I can get rid of this 16.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him, and I'm happy he didn't get in the Kansas one. So
yeah,
worked out for me that he didn't have a really good practice, because if he'd have been in there, I'd have got 2 seconds there.
Yeah. You had a nice little payday. You got a couple payouts between that and the team.
Yeah, and then the team. I mean, me, like I said, I didn't know much about the area I went to. Just Chris, my team partner, he's like, gonna launch here and kind of just go. And so, all right, well, guess
Let's do it.
Sounds good to me. Like
Did you guys have?
He stayed in one cove all day, never left.
Okay.
And so he just said, you can have whatever else. I said, all right, you can have that thing. I'm just going to go up and down, And like I said, went a long ways.
Did you guys have good
Chris said
service? Sorry, Sam.
Chris said you're renting the Airbnb for lacrosse, Rick.
Okay. I could probably do that.
Did you guys have good self-service out there?
I didn't. So everybody
I
thinks
didn't.
it's a sandbag. But I literally
Fucking liar.
No, I swear to you. You can ask Ian, you can ask Marty, you can ask I give you a list of people because they all practice there. When I got my 21 and a half, I actually had to get out and go run up to the boat, put my boat on the beach and run up to the where I launched from the ramp and go to the top of it, and that's where I'd have service. And then down low where I launched, there was no service. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just that one spot. Because I usually listen to podcasts when I'm fishing, just to clear my head. And I had nothing. I was sitting there all day, just dead zone. I'd go one place, I'd have a bar, and I'd go here, it'd be like, my phone just no service at all. So thanks for asking.
To the viewers at home, watch out for this guy.
If I was close to the bluff walls, I mean, where it was pretty, I didn't have very good. I'd have to go out, work my way out more towards the middle of the lake, and I could get service a lot better out there. But I mean, as long as I wasn't fishing the bluff walls, the big hill, then I had pretty good service. I
was back in Hell Creek, and last year, I guess it might have been 2 years ago that I fished there. I don't feel like I had cell problems, but this time I couldn't hardly submit anything during the day, but I didn't have much to submit, so it worked out.
You got a monster though, didn't you, John?
My big one was a 19. Yeah. So it was a good fish, and it was a good way to start the morning, but it was slow after that. I mean, it took me probably an hour or more to get a bite, and then it was like another hour or more before I got another bite. And it was slow. But I don't know. James, what about you?
Yeah, so my day stunk. It was horrible. We don't really need to talk about it. I don't have to worry about cell service. I don't have to worry about the tax implications of cashing checks. It just wasn't in the cards for me. But
you're lucky I didn't make you pay me the $20 I spent.
$20.
I got it
for being your partner.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
I want some money, so I won't make you pay me for that one.
Checks in the mail. But I do want to talk about the weekend and just kind of some of the things that went down. By the way, when you asked Sam, hey Sam, you have a pretty good story. I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to get there because Sam had a few stories that weekend for sure. Starting with he hit it pretty hard on Thursday night. Passed out in the back of his truck with his tailgate open. And
was that the picture of him?
Yeah.
Was that him?
Yeah. By the way, if you look closely at that, you can see the banana tattoo on his leg. So Sam and I had a bet last year on a tournament, and the loser had to get a banana tattoo. And Sam, what was the score there? It was like it was one of Marty's MLF deals, and it was like
410 inches to 0.
Oh my gosh, you got smoked.
Well, he had the lake record on. Supposedly he had the lake record on.
Wrong identifier.
Yeah.
Wrong from the wrong tournament.
Anyway, it was a great weekend. I had a lot of fun fishing on Friday with Sam and Josh. Sam lost his board at one point after lending out his other board, so he stripped down to his skivvies and went for a swim. And I think
I just want to plug Motor Guide XI3 spot lock on that deal right there.
I think he actually pooped in the water, and that's what kind of ruined those docks for us, man. So,
pooped in the water. What is wrong with you?
If you got to go, throw your board in. Nobody will question why you're in there.
That was before he dove under for his board too. So.
Oh.
Anyway, it was just Sam and I had a lot of fun. I caught some fish on Fridays. Tournament day wasn't very good for me, but really enjoyed just kind of hanging out with everybody during the day. I mean, it kind of felt like, when you're a kid and you get with your buddies and ride your bikes around all day. It's kind of how it was on Friday. We just had a good time. Got hot that afternoon. Sam and I beached our kayaks and went swimming for about an hour. Cool. We fished a little bit more.
Dodged some swim baiters.
Yeah.
There's some Swimbait universe guys out there hucking some 9-inch baits at us, and they were sweating. We weren't.
Josh Swiggert's family was down, and they had their jet ski with them. So Sam went for a jet ski ride, and was just a good day, man. It was a lot of fun. And we had our
Cool.
cookout, got a little bit of rain, but it was fun, man. And it's cool, you know, these guys are better fishermen than I am, and I'm okay with that. But it's cool to see Tim put up almost 95 inches. I'm always rooting for Rick. I mean, Rick and I've kind of fished all over the country together, and you know, he's my homie, right? So
Yeah.
it's always good to see Rick do well. Fishing with Sam, I don't know how he can drink that much and still fish well. It blows me away, but
Well, it's just good entertainment with Sam, no matter
Yeah.
what.
oh yeah, for sure. But I also want to give a shout out, Jennifer Solberg, the only girl that was at I think at this tournament.
Yeah.
And she's only been bass fishing for like 3 years.
Wow.
And you know, and she finished 5th or 6th or something like that.
With the
But
biggest smallmouth too.
she put up
20
a
and 3/4 inches.
Yeah, awesome. So she was super excited. She gave me a call and was like, I did it. I got my limit. I got my PB. And so, you know, just seeing things like that is just
Very
super cool for me. I always root for my friends, like them to do well, except for when we're fishing against the Kansas guys in the monthly, right? We don't want them to do so well, but
Mr. Scott.
Good group of people, man. Yeah. Good group of people in this community. I mean, both clubs. I mean, it's just, you know, with these monthlies that we're running every month throughout the summer, it's kind of cool to see some of these relationships, friendships almost, and when you get to like actually connect with people at tournaments, it's just a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, we're happy to have you score all of our monthly fish. So thank you for that. And yeah, I know Scott can definitely give you guys a run for your money. How is who won last month, by the way?
Oh man, who won last month?
I think it was Scott.
Was it?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
so.
Like 103.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And
Scott
probably the majority of those fish probably came from Wilson.
Yeah. Scott put up 103, but you know, we got this side bet with a team deal going, which is Scott, Neil, and Matt.
Okay.
Is the
That's
Kansas team.
It's a hell of a crew.
Then, I think they were trailing Ricky, Tyler, and Marty.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, Josh, Alex, and Chris are stomping.
Or first, yeah.
I can't keep it all straight, but the team deal is kind of fun, and you know,
cool.
something I hope we can build on in the future. Might change it up a little bit next year, so teams can win a little something every month instead of winner take all. Because somebody's going to walk away with some team's going to walk away with like $1,200 at the end of the year, which is pretty cool.
Oh, is that okay? That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Heck yeah. What about HKA? What do you guys got going on next? What's the next tournament?
Oh man, I tell you what,
we
are so busy with league night, which is a lot of fun. We keep pulling new anglers every week for our league night, and those are Tuesday nights in the Omaha metro area. That's awesome. Our next live series tournament is Creston, Iowa Roadrunner. We held our 2-day championship last year, 1 day on Green Valley, 1 day on 12 Mile last year. We're making a Roadrunner this year. We're adding Summit and
Afton County.
Yep, Afton, 12 Mile, 3 Mile, and Green Valley. So 5 lakes. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Green Valley, if you guys from Kansas, make the trip up there to Green Valley or 12 Mile. Both of those are just great lakes.
Yeah.
Cool. You just might get a couple of the Kansas guys to come up there after you guys made the trek down to Wilson.
Yeah.
You got a championship at Okoboji. You don't want to miss that one.
Okoboji's good.
That's one I haven't been to yet. It's been one that it's on my radar, but I just haven't made it happen yet. I'm gonna have
It should be on your bucket list, not your radar.
Yeah.
That lake is dope.
Yeah.
You
That's
think
what I've heard.
Wilson's clear? Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so Okoboji in September, but in August we're at Mozingo, which is
Mozingo.
Oh, there you go.
not too bad of a drive for anybody, really. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
so we hope we know some of the Nebraska and Iowa guys will be there. We hope to pull some people from Missouri, and of course some of you Kansas guys come down and join us for that one. That would be a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be a good one. We've got Perry coming up next. So that's on the 24th. So if you guys want to come down and fish with us, we'll be we'll be over there, I believe, on that one. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. That's going to be a KBN event as well, I believe.
I'll be there. I'll be fishing both. That lake's bigger than Wilton. That's like 11,000 acres.
It may be a little bigger. Yeah.
It's huge.
And dirtier.
It's dirty. It's a dirty lake. Yeah, but there are smallmouth in there, and there's some good fish in there. So hopefully there's going to be a ton of boat traffic as well. It's going to be one of those. I didn't grow up fishing, but I did grow up on Perry Lake. So yeah, tons of boat traffic there. But,
did anyone have any issues with boaters during this tournament at all?
What'd you say?
Anyone have any issues with boaters on this tournament at all? Sorry, I didn't really go into anything on the tournament day. I apologize. I didn't know we were doing that. But I had a
no, I don't think so. Did you?
Yeah, I actually had so like I said, I had my limit by 11. I just had issues of trying to upload them, and I didn't want to keep getting for it.
Yeah.
Well, I was right outside of a boat ramp, so there was, how the boat ramps are. Everybody's putting in, and I before I caught my last 18-inch smallie, I was trying to fish for a 16, and I dragged a Ned rig. I milked my spot pretty well, and I was dragging a Ned rig, and I was seeing them on the graph, and I grabbed a Ned rig, tried to get everything I could, and I hooked that 16. Get him, five in the boat, trying to get him in and stern the wind. I get blown off the point I'm at. And as a guy puts in, he sees me, hooks it. And I look back as I'm putting him on the board to measure him, and he stopped firing right up on the point. Oof. And I probably never did this in my life, but I said, "Are you effing kidding me?"
You're in good hands. I'll be back.
And he looks up. I'm like, "Dude, like, this is all I got." I give him the whole speech. I'm like, he's just fun fishing. And, he gets out, he knows he did something wrong. He reels up as quick as he throws it. And he's like, "Oh, no." I'm like, "Man, I know you have every right to fish here. You pay your license just like I did, but if you please don't mind me having this." And he luckily left it alone, but he did come back later in the day and try doing it again.
So it was just some rec guy. It wasn't one of the tournament guys.
Like all the boat guys, they would fire in right next to me. They work the opposite side of the cove, work in the middle, come to the jetty close to where I was at, and they just stare at me. That's all I got out of them. So I think they're a little upset I was there, but yeah, they were pretty cool. But I did have a lot of rec people. I was really close to a boat ramp, so I had a lot of recreational and people just fishing that they were seeing me. Luckily, they didn't see me catch the 20s. Caught those pretty early, but they did see me with those 18s, so it was kind of I had to battle it off a little bit.
So Tim, let me flip this around because you fish boat tournaments as well. Have you ever been in a boat tournament and had an issue with a kayaker?
I'm telling you right now, when I was in the boat tournament, I didn't care about no kayaker. I learned a lot of respect fishing with you guys. I'll be honest, it humbled me. I thought kayakers were just taking up water. That's just kind of like the deal with the boat side. They don't want to say it. That's how they think. But I've fished with all you guys on here and many, many more, and you guys have thoroughly kicked my butt. So I learned quickly that it's just as good, just as competitive as the boat tournament, and you should respect the water with whoever you're on it with. But yeah, it can be a little cut through, especially that being a TBF. A lot of people I don't really know that, but John, you probably know the TBF leads you up to the
MLF, isn't it?
It's now the MLF. Back when I fished, it was the FLW. Learn to or fish to dream, something like that. So basically, if you qualify for your state, you go to your regional versus your three other states, and if you beat out, you're the top boater or tow in that in your state again, you go to the championship, and the winner of the championship wins a fully rigged bass boat with a fully rigged truck, and all your fees paid for the year. So it's kind of a big deal for some of those guys. It's equivalency of if you won your local, you won the All-American, you go to the All-American, but they paid for everything.
That's how Mark Daniels Jr. ended up in the position he's in.
And we actually had a guy win Nebraska win it all last year. So it is a big deal for those guys. So I talked to the director of the Kansas TBF. They're all really cool guys. I'm a TBF member. And they were really respectable. They might have not liked it, but they were very respectable. It's more the recreational people. But there was some bigger implications to their Kansas tournament they had than just a local club. It was kind of cool to watch those guys, at least from my aspect, be very respectful of all the kayakers.
So Tim, one more question, man, and I got to hit on this just because I'm curious. How much did your bag weigh?
Bro, oh no, I know that 21.5 was no 4-pounder. I don't care what Jordan Westerman or Jeremy or all respect to James Francis says. I've caught a bunch of those 5-pounders. They have too, and that sucker was huge. It was the biggest kitefish I put on a bag. So it was probably at least a 5. It was probably close to the boaters, maybe a little less. I know my smaller was small. My 17 was definitely skinny, and my 18s were pretty small. But my 20s were pretty big. And they're really fat. So I'm telling you, that 21.5 was not lacking in the food department. But and I'm not throwing smoke at anyone. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand all the drama, man. Like,
you think you had like 15 or what?
Yeah, I probably 15. I probably had 15, 16 where I was at. My 17 was skinny. It was skinny. Yeah. It was rough. But the 21.5 was pretty fat. The 20 was pretty fat as well. So it is what it is. Like, I didn't want to. It's not a big comparison, but it wasn't a 20-pound bag. But
in the springtime, it would have been easy.
What was that?
In the springtime, it would have easily been.
Oh,
20.
easily. That 21.5 would have went. Yeah, it was easily a 6, mid to high 6, easy. The 20 was an easy 5 in the springtime, high spot, mid 5. But yeah, like I said, but it is what it is. I didn't weigh them, so God knows. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just not going to argue about it. But
the funny thing about my Facebook post was I put that out there just to like jab Tony Semino, who's TBF president here in Nebraska. Like, him and I are always talking like, okay, we need to get a boat versus kayak tournament, and it ended up on that post that some of the kayak guys got puckered up, and Tony was defending Tim. So
it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
All fishing for little green fish.
Shout out to the TBF champion Chris Brimiger, Team RMP, and the runner-up Justin Russell, also from Russell Marine Products.
No, he got runner-up. Nice.
Yep. So they both qualified. Yeah. So
what's the weights?
Do what?
What's the weights?
I don't know. I know Chris. I think Chris had right around 30 for the 2 days. I think he had 16 the first day and somewhere around there the second day.
Yeah, it was like 16. It was a big bag of 16, and then 15 was like right after. He had a pretty good lead over everybody. Everybody else had about 15.
Yeah.
But that's par for the course, I heard. I talked to a couple of boaters during practice, and I think there's only been one 20-pound bag that I've known of, and that when I was talking about and it was in the springtime this year. So a lot of them have been 15 to 16 range to win it. So
yeah,
they did really good.
Yeah, absolutely. So
is that true that you heard a 11-pound bass was taken out of Wilson last year? Is what I heard. Largemouth.
I believe it.
John. I didn't know if you had heard that 11-pound largemouth was taken. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard that.
There was two guys that were talking about it. It was like basically almost a state record,
Pretty close,
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would believe it, I mean, you see you see a 20, 23, 24 inch fish, you could 25 maybe. But yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
There's probably one swimming around in there if, even if one was taken out.
Yeah.
But all right, well, does anybody have anything they want to share, like maybe something that they kind of found out during the tournament, something that like maybe clued you in, something that you took away from the event that you feel like you're going to be able to take on with you, kind of like what Sam did. He talked about how kind of last year it kind of clued him into some stuff and helped change his approach. Anybody have anything like that happen this last weekend?
I'll just spill the beans. Brim beds.
Yeah.
Deep, shallow, dirt, shallow brim beds. They were very prevalent. Hell's Creek, I fished that, and I found a bunch of good ones back there on those brim beds. Sadly, I wasn't the only one that found them. They get shallow for as clear as it is. Like my 17 came out of like inches of water, and there was other ones back there with him. So just as shallow as they get, as clear as that lake is, I would have never thought that they were they're back there. If you could find those brim beds, and even if there was a bunch of carp in there rooting around, like they were just that was the key for that. So I think that plays a lot at that lake that maybe not a lot of people think about just because of the clear of the water and you have all that beautiful smallmouth habitat, but those largies, especially looking for those big ones, it's those brim beds. It's that time of year, and that's what they're looking for. So
very cool. Thank you for that. Anybody?
Well, on the rock ledges, any dark spot that I found that was in the rocks, I threw that swim bait right in there and almost on cue, either largemouth or smallmouth. Would
just looking for some shade or.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any dark spot in the rocks. Yep.
So I caught those two in the same spot, and probably maybe 45 minutes, hour later, they were up there in the shallow and right up, burying themselves right up in the rocks.
Very cool. Sam?
Fishing's fun, man. I really enjoy the time that I spend with my friends out there. The competition, I don't know if I'd show up to fish without the competition, but people like Josh Swigert holding the get-togethers every tournament, that's the part that I keep coming back for. James, Ricky, John, all you other tournament directors, you guys put in a lot of hard work. We wouldn't be here without you guys, so I appreciate the camaraderie.
Yeah, I want to participate in that, more. It's not that I don't like you guys. It's just, man, I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off sometimes. But
I'll be crashing your party in 2 weeks, bud.
Hell yeah! All right, well, I'll have to try to make it out the night before, and I'll try not to try to hang with you because I won't.
I'll be coming in hot. I'll be at the ramp, so you can find me at 15 feet from launch.
All right, James.
I think I'm going to try to get down there too.
Let's go, Ricky. I got two spots in my trailer, buddy.
You got 3?
That's fine. I got room on my air mattress too.
Hell yeah.
May have to take my trailer. I don't know, but
let's do it.
Just a great weekend, man. It was a pleasure fishing with you guys. The only problem with Wilson is there's no big towns around it, right? So
yeah.
I slept in a tent and it got pretty hot in there on Friday or Thursday night. I'm not gonna lie, but it was just fun. It was a good time, man. I wish I fished better, but just hanging out with everybody, meeting some of the Kansas guys. I love it, man. It's a lot of fun. I hope next year, both clubs could draw like 35 to 40 each. That would be awesome.
I think we had. I don't know. Did you ever tally up how many people we ended up with between the two?
I haven't looked at like how many different kayaks now.
Yeah. I don't know. We probably had what 40.
I think you try host with All American and get them some numbers.
If you said if you do what now?
Yeah,
pull the All American,
KKA, HKA, and All American out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that they want to go back. I'm not sure why.
Don't. They when I talked to Josh last year,
attendance,
I don't remember what they drew because we co-hosted with All American last year on Wilson.
Yeah.
And he just said that they just needed bigger attendance. So,
yeah. It wasn't very many. It wasn't very many. 20. I think it might have been 22. Something like that. Was it?
Yeah.
38?
Yeah.
They've been their best showing this year.
Oh, this year, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
that I'd like to see that thing grow, but it's I don't know. As spread out as it is, it's going to be. I think it's going to be hard to do, But definitely like seeing those guys come to Wilson, and I agree. I wish we would have been able to show up a little bit more. The Kansas guys. I don't think there was a ton of us out there at that. I don't think I went last year. I think it was a year before, actually, the one that I went to. But there was probably 30 or 40 of them at that one. But anyways, well, we'd love to have you guys out at Perry. If you guys want to come down and kick our butts again, I think you ought to take it a little bit easy on us if you're going to.
I'm trying to bring one of those Kansas things back to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, you got a nice you got some nice hardware. I guess you got a couple from this last event. So
I like those.
Sam?
I like those. I like those wooden trophies.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
I'm going for that big bass one. I think I'm
That one's
siding with Tim Parker on this one. I'm just gonna keep that swim bait in my hand and go for the big bass trophy.
Rest of the year.
that thing is sweet. Like I had it because Tyler wasn't there at the awards, and I looked at it. I'm like, this thing's pretty cool.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you for coming on here. Thank you for fishing with us. Definitely looking forward to teaming up with you guys again. And hopefully we'll see you guys out at Perry. And if anybody's looking to get into kayak fishing in Kansas, check out Kansas Kayak Anglers. If you're up there around Nebraska, Missouri area, check out Heartland Kayak Anglers. They've got some cool stuff going on. And if you want to get involved in a monthly tournament, hit up the Heartland Kayak Anglers as well. Are you doing Missouri water as well on that, or?
No, we know better than that.
You're doing what? Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa?
Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. If James Francis had it his way, we'd do North Dakota. But again,
we don't want to compete with him anymore.
I've given that man enough money, right? So, So, and you don't have to be a member to fish those. It's it's $35 to get in. We've had pretty good turnout on those, so you get some pretty good pots, size pots on those. We paid the top 10%. They're a lot of fun. You go fish on your terms, your lakes, public waters only, but I enjoy the monthlies.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep.
All right, guys. Anybody want to sign off with anything before we call it a night? Congrats to everybody here, cashing checks, taking home trophies. Way to turn things around, Tim. It's pretty cool to see you flip things around and end up with a very impressive limit there. And Rick, well done. Tim, happy to see you do well. Sam, I've been cheering for you. Happy to see you do well at Big Hill, and then come back down here, and hopefully you keep fishing with us, and we'll see you at the KBN event at Perry. And James, thank you for all the work that you put in and just kind of bringing this community together. So
thanks, man. It's an awesome group to be part of, for sure.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you, and we'll see you on the water.
All right.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
See ya. All right, guys, there you go. We have the Wilson episode in the wraps here. Really cool just to hear from everybody. Definitely a lot of different things going on. All these guys did really well. They came in, some of them pre-fished, some of them didn't. Awesome to hear about Rick just coming in and kind of fishing blind there. Really cool to hear about Tim's story, about him struggling and just being to the point of, almost breaking, and then just completely turning things around and doing what he did. And happy to see the local guys like Tim and Cole. He wasn't able to make it on tonight, but happy to see them represent for the KKA guys. And like I say, with Sam kind of fishing with us, really cool to see him doing well. Next time I'm going to have to do a little bit more research, maybe do a little bit of pre-fishing and get on something for game day. But always a good time out at Wilson. If that's a place that you haven't been, you definitely need to go. And if you haven't been in a while, get back out there because the bite is on. I do want to remind you guys, we've got some merch on the Shopify page. This is our Walk the Frog shirt. Got the Behind the Reel logo on the front. We've got the Tough Bite tee. And we've got one with a small logo on front, one with a large. And then we've got hats. We've got Richardson hats. We've got this 5-panel hat. We've got kind of the flat bill style hat. And we're giving away, if you guys go purchase some Behind the Reel merch, you're going to have an opportunity to win a couple swim baits from Legal Dope. Shout out to F5 Rod Company for donating a spinning rod. Amped Outdoors for donating a 15 amp hour lithium battery and charger. Also, Biz Baits is throwing in a $50 prize pack of soft plastics. And so just really happy to be announcing our 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I appreciate you guys. And I'm really trying hard not to forget my roots here. 3,000 subscribers isn't really a huge deal, but I do have you guys to thank for that. And I want to continue to try to grow the local community here. And, I sometimes I may not be as involved as I have been in the past, but, thanks to guys like James and thanks to guys here locally that have been helping out with KKA, we're going to be able to keep these clubs going, thriving, and growing. And just happy to be a part of it. Glad to have you guys kind of joining me along for the ride here. And if you want to support the channel, get some of that merch, that's going to be a really good way to do that. We've probably got another week or so before we're going to announce this giveaway. So if you want to get in that giveaway, make sure you get some of that merch purchased. Link down in the description. And appreciate you guys all tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.